Hello again and welcome to Tips with Andrew. I am Andrew Sapiano. Thank you so much for joining me on this happy Wednesday, happy hump day. I hope you guys are rocking out this week, whatever goals, hopes, plans, dreams, ambitions you have and are currently making it happen. Woohoo! Quickly before we get started here, doTERRA convention is, I think it's like 3 weeks away or something like that. 3 or 4 weeks away. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. If you at all are interested in essential oils, living a natural alternative wellness lifestyle, an alternative to modern medicine, this is definitely an event that you do not want to miss. This is one of my favorite times of year, actually. I'm super excited. It's a week-long event, information, community, education, coming together. There's science behind the products, why they work, why you should care about it, the way they work with us, and it's such an awesome time. It's a coming together like you would never believe in your life. Tickets are on sale. It's going to be in person as well as online. So definitely reach out to me. If this is something you're interested in, definitely reach out to me. Drop me a comment, send me a message. There is still time to get tickets, but like I said, it's coming up real quick. Next, if you are at all dealing with any sort of trials or tribulations in your life right now and you feel that you could benefit from the help from a certified life coach like myself, definitely reach out to me. Book a free consultation today. Don't be afraid to reach out and ask for help. Life is hard, right? And if we could do it by ourselves, we probably would have done it already. So definitely, if you or somebody you know of is going through a little bit of a time right now, reach out to me and we'll get you. We'll talk about how we can get back to living the life that you know you want to. Okay, that's where I'm going to cut that off. I'm telling you, there's so much more going on over here. Oh, what a great time to be alive. We are the middle of August 2022. What a great time to be alive, right? I'm so excited right now. There's never really been a better time. I mean, I guess everybody says it when they reach that moment of time, that there's never been a better time in life. But I mean, let's get real here, right? There's so much happening right now. There is so much that we're a part of, and if we actually just stop to, quote unquote, smell the roses a little bit, and we will actually start to really appreciate what moment we are in history. And actually, that's really where I wanted to. That's a great starting point for today's topic. Actually, what I wanted to talk about today was journaling tips for beginners. To really help you sort of, progress further in your life, to help you sort of capture that moment. Journaling is an amazing thing that can really be beneficial for your life, but I get it, right? At the same time, it's just another thing, right? Quote unquote thing to do. We live so busy on the go lifestyles already. We've got to-do lists longer than we can see. I get that. And for us to add one more thing like documenting our day just seems like something that is, it's just so far-fetched out of the realm of possibility that we can't even fathom how to do that. So that's really where I wanted to come on and give some tips to help me. Journaling is nothing more than keeping a diary of your life, right? Dear diary, this is how I feel today, and it can be very powerful for every aspect of your life, right? Right? You can journaling is a great way to register progress. Up in our head, it's really easy for us to feel like we're not progressing as fast as we think we should, and it's very easy for us to get down on ourselves and think that we should be further ahead. But if we're looking at our notes from where we came from, we're making progress, and we actually are changing into a better version of ourselves. It's just something that, when we're up in our head, we can't really fathom that concept, right? It's kind of a far-fetched idea for us to, be nice to ourselves. Journaling is another great way. Like I mentioned, this is a great time in history, and if we're actually documenting it and making sure, and keeping an eye on what's happening, and being present in the current moment. That's we're gonna look back. You can look back on this moment of time in this period of history and really understand that this was the turning point for a civilization, I guess, if you will. And so I just get so excited all the time when I'm talking about, figuring out different ways to do things, ways to celebrate your life, ways to, capture moments in time. And that's where I wanted to come on right there and just give some tips that help me. Journaling, right? It is a process. It is at the beginning another thing that has to be added to your list, but it can be so beneficial, and the benefits of it are so well documented that if you take the time and effort to really put this thing at the forefront of your mind, you can really see how powerful it can be. So that's where I wanted to come on, give some tips, some beginner tips. It doesn't have to be super hard, and it doesn't have to be another thing that you add to your list. But there is some tips that you can help to sort of ease your way in. And the first one that I've got is it doesn't have to be perfect, right? When we're talking about making a journal, making a diary, documenting our day, putting our thoughts into words, it can be very overwhelming. It can be one of those things where you don't really know what to say, right? It's really hard to know what to say all the time. So it can be very overwhelming. It can be very easy to, just say to yourself like, oh, this isn't really what I wanted to talk about, or, maybe this isn't that important in my life right now, or, maybe I want to circle back to this, and there's so many things on there, right? And you can just keep going and going. One of the things that you have to really understand more than anything is that we're human, right? At the end of the day, we're human. We do things. There's no instruction manual on how to live or how to be or how to do things, right? We just kind of go and we make it up. We kind of make it up as we go along, right? So in that aspect, we can't expect ourselves to be 100% perfect all the time. And nor should we expect ourselves to be 100% perfect all the time. Because right? What is perfection? Really, what is perfection at the end of the day? Because everybody's going to have their different definition of perfection. And when it comes to putting your thoughts on paper, I mean, take the perfection out of the window, because there's no real perfect thing, right? Way of talking, idea of how we should be, right? The perfect moment, I guess, if you will, doesn't exist. It doesn't normally exist. And that's why you need to just understand that anything that you're putting on paper is going to be super beneficial in the long term, because you're going to look back on this. This is something, and this is something that's an ongoing process, right? It's not something that you do for a couple days and then you stop. It's an ongoing process. So therefore, this is stuff that you're going to be looking back on, reflecting on, seeing where you were, what you thought was hard before, and what you realize now is super easy, right? And you know exactly what you're doing, you know where you're going, you've got your thoughts, you've got your goals, hopes, plans, dreams, ambitions written on paper, and you know exactly the roadmap that you're looking for. Just understand that it doesn't have to be perfect. Even if you're just scribbling stuff on a paper, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be in a story form, right? It doesn't have to be, event by event. It doesn't have to be anything. It can just be a random scramble of words just getting out of your head, putting it onto paper. That leads me to my next one. It can be a brain dump. Journaling is nothing more than getting your thoughts out of your head onto paper, because we can't always trust our memory when we're looking back on times, right, in history, events that happened in our lives. And that's why we need to be putting it down on paper, so that we can come back and really relive that exact moment. We can put ourselves exactly in that moment in time. When we're trying to remember it, our brain kind of fogs it up, and it misses specific details that we need. So that's why when we've got it on paper, we can see exactly what happened, and we know how it went down, and we can just put ourselves right back in that moment. But that's why I'm talking like a brain dump. Either in the morning or at night. Some people like to, as soon as they wake up, jot down everything that comes to their mind. Some people like to, at the end of the day, just dump everything out of their head, kind of clear the way for for them to have a nice, calming, relaxing environment for sleeping. Whatever works for you, right? For me, I don't really have a time, quote unquote, that I like to, or that I set aside every day. For me, my schedule is different all the time, so I don't have that set time. That's why for me, I like to bring a journal that's little, right? Something that's like pocket size, so I can just have it in my pocket, and then that way I can take it on the go, right? For me, that works for me more than anything. But that's just one of those things. Journaling is nothing more than getting the stuff out of your head and putting it down on paper. So brain dump everything, and if you that's one of the easiest ways to start right there. If you don't know what to write, that's one of the big things that holds people up, is they don't know what to write in their journal. It doesn't matter what you write. It's your journal. It's your diary. You can put anything that you want in there. That's why a brain dump is amazing, because you just start dumping things out of your head. And then maybe, more likely than not, at the beginning, you're not going to have any sort of rhyme or reason for the words that are coming out of your head or the thought processes that are going through your head. But that's okay, because this is something new for you. So you're actually just like making things up on the spot to write down. And so eventually, once you get into the habit, that's when things start to flow a lot easier, and you'll be able to kind of write out, your day's events or a specific period of time. Leads me to my next one, different styles of journaling. I mentioned the book. But what I really have learned to love more than anything is that app on my phone, the Notes app. There's an app on your phone, the Notes app. If you don't have it, go to the Play Store or the App Store, whatever you have, and download it. I promise you, this will be a very beneficial thing for you, because that's it, right? When we're on the go, we more often than not, we have our phone. We're doing what we can to keep it charged, right? We got everything that we can to make sure that this device never loses any sort of power and is always there with us when we need it. That's where it's beneficial for me on the go. Like I said, I don't always have time at the end of the day, quote unquote, or at the beginning of the day, to have that specific amount where I can just put everything down on paper. So for me, I sort of need to be real creative when I get time. So that's where my Notes app on my phone becomes really beneficial in that aspect, because I can just pull out my phone, jot down my thoughts. I don't actually need to worry about writing. But that's another way, right? Like, writing is definitely a way. Notes on your phone. If you don't like doing that, talking into a camera like I am right now, that's a perfect way to get your thoughts out of your head into your. And for me, like, I love talking. So for me, that's nothing out of the normal. And if I'm going to do that, that's an easy way for me to journal, because I love talking anyways. So if I'm just going to put myself in front of a camera, it's easy peasy lemon squeezy for me. A lot of people, they don't like talking. They don't like public speaking. So maybe that's not for you. But that could be a beneficial way to do that. Maybe a voice recorder, right? If you don't want to see yourself on camera, a voice recorder is a great way to help you capture your thoughts in the moment. And then that way you can record you can replay yourself back to yourself, and then get your thoughts out that way. So that's really what I'm trying to say here, is that we don't have to make things complicated. It doesn't have to be a big production. It doesn't have to be this big quote unquote thing that we, have to set time aside for. It can just be part of your daily routine, and it doesn't have to be anything out of the ordinary. Side note, water. Always making sure that you're drinking your water, especially on these hot summer days. Stay hydrated. It's nice and humid out. Ugh. My next tip is to consider using essential oils. For me, I love using essential oils in the way that they help to boost my mood and to really help change my thought process. My first blend that I have here is a blend called Citrus Bliss. And Citrus Bliss is a blend of citrus oils that help, well, bring you in a state of bliss. What happens there is the citrus oils, they help to promote the happy thoughts, and they help to promote that, that mode of confidence, and to help you sort of put yourself into a happy moment, right? When we're talking about journaling, not everything that happens in our day is going to be happy. Not everything that happens in our life is sunshines and lollipops. But when we're trying to write our stuff down, it can be very beneficial to be in a good mood. You don't necessarily have to be in a good mood, but it can be more beneficial to be in a good mood simply because you're more receptive to writing things down. You're more receptive to the whole idea of the journaling, right? So you don't necessarily have to be in a good mood to journal, but being in a happy mood definitely makes it a little bit better. My next blend here that I have is a blend called Northern Escape, and this one is perfect for the other end of that spectrum. When you've got your anxious thoughts happening, and your emotions are rising, and you got your heart pounding, and the adrenaline's flowing, and everything's going, and you don't really know how to put your thoughts into words. I love using a blend like Northern Escape. It's in the name, right? Northern Escape, that nice calming, relaxingness of the northern, the escape, right? The outdoors, the mountaintops, out in the Amazon rainforest, right? That nice calming, relaxing aroma to help you put your thoughts into perspective, right? So where you've got the anxious thoughts going on, everything's kind of rising, and you don't really know what's going on, you just kind of have everything happening. It's a nice way to help calm, relax yourself, and then put you in that focus mode, right? Promote that sense of focus to help you achieve what your desired results. And then my last tip, more than anything, is to consider asking for help from a certified life coach like myself. I mentioned off the hop, life is hard, and especially nowadays, right? There's so much going on, and it can be very overwhelming if you're not prepared for it the way that you should. So if this sounds like you or somebody you know of, definitely reach out to me to book a free consultation and get your thoughts back together, right? Get your life back in order. Figure out a way to make your dreams come true. It's not hard at all. You just need a plan, you just need a confidence, and you just need momentum. That's all I got for you for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. I know I had a lot of fun making it. Feel free to share this with your friends, family member, perhaps somebody from your team that you feel needs to hear this. If you'd like to learn more about essential oils, how to get your hands on some of this cool stuff that I'm talking about, booking a free consultation with a certified life coach like myself, definitely reach out to me, drop me a comment, send me a message, and we'll get you rocking and rolling. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day and an even better week ahead, and I look very forward to talking to you again. I love you guys. Bye for now.